classes. So to be eligible for the sale for hogs, they have to meet the following criteria. So they have to be at least 240 pounds, a minimum of 0.35 inches back fat, and at least 46% fat-free lean. So those first two classes were light hogs that didn't quite make it up to the 240. So our first class, when those exhibitors are ready, if you can actually start coming to our holding area, and the holding area is on the east end of our showroom.
We might try burger.
And those that are on deck for that first non-sale eligible market class are Austin Zimmerman, Hunter Zimmerman, Blake Germanson, Tristan Vincent, Nicholas Casper, Brady Mickelson, and Will Hovland. Now when they're in the ring, we would like to have our next class on deck in that extra holding pen. And so the ones that will be on deck will be Wyatt Kunish, Sean Holton, Kennedy Drost, Fisher Kunish, Marcus Semke, Nicholas Wells, Will Hovland, and Ashlyn Harmon. So once again, we'll be starting shortly here. Any exhibitors that have a poster project should be in the ring at this time.
They're here. Why? Oh, he's running away. You think so? Maybe. Okay, you be my baby bird. Oh, I love you so much. Just try some real quick. I want to see if I can make this a little bit taller. That I can. Nikes. Sorry.
What happened, Mama?
I went too high.
Why?
Too high? Too high.
Why? Yeah, when the little family.
Back it up a smidge so it's not in the way. There.
Hey, dude. Hey, dude.
I think that should be safe there.
The cows?
We can go through the house.
Really?
In just a moment. I just want to make sure we got this as good as we can get. I think it is.
In our poster competition, our blues went to Blake Germanson. He's with the Northern Lights 4-H Club, and Emily Zemke. She is with the Clayton FFA. In our holding area right now, ready to enter the show ring, we should have the following individuals. And this, once again, will be for our non-sale eligible market class number 1. So we should have Hunter Zimmerman, Sophie Stang, Blake Germanson, Tristan Vincent, Nick Casper, Brady Mickelson, and Will Hovland. We have all of our individuals for that first class now in the holding pen, and so you can enter the show ring. Once again, for those just joining us, the pigs in the ring right now are in our non-sale eligible market class number 1. So these were hogs that didn't quite reach that 240 pound minimum to be considered sale eligible. On deck, so the following people should be heading to the holding area, will be our non-sale eligible market class number 2. So on deck is Wyatt Kunish, Sean Holton, Kennedy Drost, Fisher Kunish, Marcus Zemke, Nicholas Wells, Will Hovland, and Ashlyn Harmon. Today's judge is Kevin Kitchen, and he comes from the Augusta area. So welcome, Mr. Kitchen.
Yep. Well, good morning. I think, the weather maybe yesterday wasn't the best, but I think it's a good morning to here to sort through your swine show. And I think this lightweight class is an awfully good way to start. I'm going to go ahead and use the young man's York Gilt on the far side of the ring here to win the class. I think she's the stoutest at the base of the ground and still balances up good through the top side of her shoulder. When you get on the back side of this one, she's the biggest back and has the most muscle and shape for how, green she is still in her overall muscle makeup. Maybe this one with another 20, 30 pounds would look a lot different, but I do think that's a good spot to start on the top side of this class. Next, I'm going to go with this young man's longer spine gilt in second. I think that this one, when you study this one in the move, is where she finds herself here. Like I said, she's the longer spine. I just need to stouten her up at the base of the ground, give her a little bit more fill and more time on feed for her to move up any higher. Next, I'll go with the young lady's barrel here. I think this one just, needs to get opened up at the base of the ground. It doesn't have enough overall skeletal width and dimension to go with the two ahead of her, but a really good spot for 3. We can let out the next one here. This one, young man, is when this one first kind of came out, I was like, okay, here we go. I think this one can definitely run with the ones ahead of him. Just as time goes on and he drove this one, she's just not stout enough. She's not long enough bodied and just doesn't have enough overall base width and overall extension to the top side of her skeleton to run with the ones ahead. But that's a sound, moving, good built kind of gilt for this young man. Next, we got one that's just lacking in overall size. I think the young man said he weighed 203 pounds. And I think with another 30, 45 days, we'd be looking at a different story because that's a big-backed, good moving overall type of gilt, just giving up a lot of shape and mass and muscle width. The young man's gilt here, the York appearing one, just not enough overall stoutness and muscle shape. I just like to make her a little bigger bone and a little bigger footed at the base of the ground. And with that, the next one that comes out is definitely one that just needs more overall foot and shape. We can let her out, yep. And just, extension to the top side of her skeleton. She likes to get a little tight on her hip and hind leg and just get a little round in her hip. Obviously, she likes to get out and move, but I do think, we can just flex her and give her a little bit more flexibility. And the young man's gilt that rounds out the class, or barrel, he's just getting a little anxious for him, but he just gets a little round in his hip, a little plain in his muscle shape, and just a little tight in his hip and hind leg. But a really good class of lightweights. Let's go ahead and give these kids a round of applause.
Okay, Carly, make sure we're not in the way when people are walking. Yep, Kennedy's coming in next. Here she goes.
Congratulations to our winners from that first non-sale eligible market class. First blue went to Will Hovland of the Countrysiders. Second blue to Brady Mickelson, Countrysiders. First red to Sophie Stang of the Marquette Pacemakers. Second red, Blake Germanson, Northern Lights. First white goes to Austin Zimmerman of the Marquette Pacemakers. Second white to Tristan Vincent of the Prairie Hustlers. First pink to Nick Casper of the Vermilion Cruisers. And second pink to Hunter Zimmerman of the Marquette Pacemakers. So congratulations to our winners from the non-sale eligible market class number 1. Out in the ring right now includes our hogs that were in the non-sale eligible class number 2. So those individuals out here in the ring are Wyatt Kunish, Sean Holton, Kennedy Drost, Fisher Kunish, Marcus Zemke, Nicholas Wells, Will Hovland, and Ashlyn Harmon. On deck, so the following individuals can now move into the holding area on the end of the show ring. So the next group that will be on deck is market class number 1. So on deck would be Isaac Mickelson, Ben Casper, James Meyer, Nolan Ewings, Amelia Kunish, Emily Zemke, Lillian Harmon, Brady Mickelson, Molly Peterson, and Summer Stokes. So once again, those individuals are on deck. If you can start moving to the holding area. Thank you.
Yep. As we get here in our last class of ones that aren't going to make the sale, I think there was one that hit me awfully hard as soon as he came out the gate, and that's going to be this young lady's gilt right here in front of me. This is a big backed, good muscled, good hip and hind leg that's still tall at the top of its shoulder and extended out of the top side of its skeleton. And I think, I asked the young lady what she weighed, and she said he was 239, so he missed it by a pound. And I think that, this one, if we could have had him make weight, would be, do a really good job in the next class, because this one's wild chested and it's still extended and just makes up a good overall show pig in its overall body and skeletal width. I think that's an awful good place to start. Next, I'm going to go with the young man's up against the gate over here, the big belted gilt. I think that this one follows my class winner the best. She's a longer bodied, maybe a little bit not as stout at the base of the ground, but I still think when you study this one's overall skeletal build and makeup, she's wide at the base of the ground while still giving me enough look and extension up through the front 1/3, and that's why she finds herself in second. Next, I'm going to go ahead with the young man's York up here in gilt on the far side. That's a good bodied, good skeletally built type of hog, just not stout enough and running with the crossbreds ahead of her. I think, if you give her a little more flexibility out of her hip and hind leg, she tends to get a little straight out of her hind leg, and that's why she finds herself in third. We can let out the next one. This young man's here, I think, is just not stout enough at the base of the ground, and when you study this one in motion, she gets a little outside of herself. She just need to narrow her up a little bit, and she just wants to track a little too wide, and there's just not an overall muscle shape and overall dimension that the three above her have. And this one, oh, perfect. I was wondering where this one went. He is, when you study this one in motion, he's just way outside of his skeleton on his hip and hind leg. He gets a little round, but this one is a big backed, big muscle type of one that you just like to see clean up in his front 1/3 and just give him a little bit more extension and clean him up in his jowl, but a really nice place for that one to go. And the young man's that come out next is the wild chested one and still extended up through his front 1/3, but it's just where his hip and hind leg sets in. I don't think there's enough overall flexibility, and he doesn't tie from his ham into his loin good enough, and that's why he finds himself there. The young lady's gilt here is probably the one that I was like, okay, where do I kind of go with her? Because I think I could have moved her up maybe 3 spots, but she's just a little too straight in her hip and hind leg. She rounds off in her hip, and when you study this one in motion, she just gets a little too overall stale in her makeup, and that's why I find her here. And the young man's that rounds out the class is one that just kind of doesn't have enough extension, enough long enough. Maybe we could add another ribbon to this one and just make him a little bit longer in his overall makeup, and he just gets a little short and a little not stout enough for me here today. But a really good class of hogs. Let's give all these kids a nice round of applause.
Okay, one done.
Hi.
Congratulations to our winners from the non-sale eligible market class number 2. First blue went to Ashlyn Harmon of the Countrysiders. Second blue to Sean Holton, also of the Countrysiders. First red to Nicholas Wells of the Vermilion Cruisers. Second red to Marcus Zimke of the Country Kids. First white to Will Hovland of the Countrysiders. Second white to Fisher Kunish of the Northern Lights. First pink to Kennedy Dross of the Northern Lights, and second pink to Wyatt Kunish of the Northern Lights. To make a correction here, actually Fisher Kunish was the second pink, and his brother Wyatt Kunish was our 6th hog in that class.
What's your name, Monkey? Yeah. Hey, be careful so you don't pull your hair all over that. Peanut, you want to come by Auntie? Kelly.
In the class right now is our first class of market hogs. These were hogs that met the requirements that were necessary to be sale eligible. In the ring right now we have Isaac Mickelson, Ben Casper, James Meyer, Nolan Ewings, Amelia Kunish, Emily Zemke, Lillian Harmon, Brady Mickelson, Molly Peterson, and Summer Stokes. In the holding area, if you're not there, you want to move your pig there soon. But in the holding area, we should have our market class number 2, which would include Natalie Ellison, Troy McDonough, Jarrett Moreau, Brady Mickelson, Olivia Wilger, Cadence Holton, Sophie Stang, Miles Holton, and Caleb Germanson.
Thank you for the sign. I never would have known that.
We were just watching it. And we're like, oh, someone's standing there. We should put up a sign. Great. It's me. Put it where you're not seeing the video. I think that'll do it. That should do it.
As we get out here in our first class of sale eligible ones, I think there's 3 that sort themselves to the top very handily, and I think it kind of comes down to personal preference on what I want to do. You know, there's one that's bigger backed, a little bit more muscle, and a little bit more terminal in her overall makeup and her overall muscle shape, and then there's one that's definitely the more feminine, you know, the more good looking show pig out here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and leave with that. The young lady's belted pig here is going to win this class. You study this one when she sets in motion, and this young lady does an awesome job driving this one, and she's extended out of the top side of her shoulder. You know, you look at her underline and her overall back shape, and then you get behind it, and there's like, whoa, there's tons of overall muscle shape in her hip and hind leg, you know, sets out and moves really well, and that's why she found herself here. And then this overall blue butt here, I think, is the problem one for me, because, you know, this is a big product, big muscle, big backed one, but just maybe not stout enough at the ground, and overall, you know, I'd like to lay this one's blade back into its overall skeleton, and that would help over how it ties its head out of the top side of its body. And I think that, you know, there's overall a couple things I'd like to change on that one, and we could definitely flip our top pair. The young lady's almost all white pig here, you know, just kind of runs into 2 ahead of them that are ultra good. You know, maybe she's blown a glam, but I do think when you study this one's overall muscle and overall build and overall skeletal width, it's definitely there. I'd just like to see this one, maybe if we get a little bit of drive out of her and just see her head out on the top side of her shoulder and just a little bit more muscle width, it would definitely be a different story. The young ladies one that comes out here, I think this one and the next one are awful similar in their overall build and type. I just think that this one was the bigger muscle, had a little bit more stoutness at the base of the ground, and had just a little more shot of overall presence in the ring, and that's why she found himself over there. Then we come out with the next one, and this is one that when I was studying him, I was like, okay, this one's overall back shape and muscle is good. Just how he uses his hip and hind leg, he gets a little outside of his skeleton, he's a little uncoordinated, and I just like to lay that one shoulder back into his skeleton to move him up any higher. The young man's here, York appearing one, I think just runs kind of in a hard class. I think, maybe if we'd have some breeds, this one would be a little bit different, but this is a good looking, still sound built, skeletally good type of female. I just need, a little bit more stoutness, and she wants to get a little loose in her front shoulders when she sets out in motion, and that's why she finds herself there. The young lady's barrel that comes out next is kind of just too uncoordinated in his hip and hind leg for me. I think he gets a little soppy bellied, and just, we like to stouten up his overall skull, and maybe just hit him with a little bit of better skin and hair to move up any higher. The young man's barrel that comes out next is definitely the power and the meat wagon of the class. I just like to maybe make him a little bit more feminine, or make him a little bit more cleaner up through his front 1/3, and just trim a little bit of that extra fat off. Maybe he is a bit more moderate in his overall build. He's getting a little too wasty for his overall build right now. And the young man's gilt here that comes out next, I think she's definitely the longer body, more extended type. We just need more flank and more body and overall dimension to move her up any higher. But let's go ahead and give all these kids a nice round of applause.
In our market class number 1, first place went to Lillian Harmon of the Countrysiders. Second place to Summer Stokes of the Barron FFA. Third place to Emily Zemke of the Clayton FFA. Ranked number 4 in that class was Molly Peterson of the Vermilion Cruisers. 5th to Ben Casper of the Vermilion Cruisers. 6th to Nolan Ewings of the Prairie Hustlers. 7th to Isaac Mickelson of the Countrysiders. 8th to Amelia Kunish, Northern Lights. 9 to Brady Mickelson of the Countrysiders. 10th to James Meyer of the Doyle Juniors. In our next class that will be entering the ring, this is our market class number 2. Entering the ring, we have Natalie Ellefson, Troy McDonough, Jarrett Moreau, Brady Mickelson, Olivia Wilger, Cadence Fulton, Sophie Stang, Miles Fulton, and Caleb Germanson. On deck, moving to our holding area, will be our market class number 3. That should be Miles Fulton, second pig, Troy McDonough, Mason Zemke, Brooke Colburn, Natalie Ellefson, Adam Worth, Andrew Casper, Cheyenne Matthews, and Carter Zimmerman.
as we get out here in our next class. I don't think there's one that hits me super hard, and it definitely made a sort for my top three. I think the rest of the place kind of place themselves, but I do think the top side of this class is very kind of, personal preference and what I lay my preferences is. And with that being said, I'm going to use a young man on this side of the ring to win the class. I think when you study this one's overall muscle shape and back shape is where this one kind of falls in, while still being stout enough at the ground and good enough moving for me here to win this class. Maybe I'd like to clean him up in his overall jowl and just kind of extend him up in that front 1/3, but I think that's a logical place for me here to land. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use the young man's dart gilt to go second. I think she just kind of balances up the best. I think that when you study this one on a profile is kind of where she falls herself in here, but I'd like to maybe just give a little bit more foot and bone at the base of the ground, and when you study her when she goes away from you, just kind of make her more in overall in motion with her hip and hind leg, because she just wants to get a little outside and uncoordinated, and definitely maybe stouten up her skull a little bit, and that just give her a little more maturity and growth. And as I get into my third place here, this York barrel, I do think that this one, when he first came out, I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to go ahead and use this white one. But as what his big thing for me is when I studied him when he walks away from me, he's not opened up enough. His hind leg gets awful close to each other when they're set in motion, and just on his overall, he's getting a little straight out of his hip and hind leg, and that's why he finds himself in third. The young man's pick here just gets a little rounded, a little tight, restricted in his movement when he sets in motion, especially when you study from behind. He's definitely outside of the skeleton when he sets into motion, and that's why he finds himself there. The young lady's gilt here, I think that there's just not an overall hip and hind leg and mass and muscle to run with the ones ahead of her. I definitely would like to just clean her up in her chest and her overall jowl, and that's where she would find herself a little higher for me here today. And the next one that comes out, I think is definitely a really good one. Just would like to overall fix his spine when he sets into motion and just give him a bit more overall a pig and show pig look, because I definitely think that this one's got the shape and the mass. He just doesn't, maybe want to be good enough fronted and clean enough up through his front 1/3, and definitely like to fix his spine on that one. And the young man's gilt that comes out next just isn't having enough overall shape and muscle to go with the ones ahead of him. Maybe would like to just give that one a little bit, like I was saying before, about overall stoutness and bone and muscle and foot size, and that one could definitely find its way higher. The young lady's gilt that comes in next just is a little bit more plainer in her overall muscle shape, a little flatter muscled. You get in behind this one and there's not a whole lot of overall skeletal width and muscle to go up any higher. And the young lady's one that comes out here next just wants to get tight in his spine when he sets into motion, a little restricted in its hip and hind leg and straight. I like to lay that one shoulder blade back into his overall skeleton, and just give him a little more overall rib shape through the center third of his body. But nonetheless, let's give all these kids a round of applause.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Brooke Shatley, and I am your 2022 Barron County Fairest of the Fair. I just wanted to say welcome to the Hog Show. Thank you guys for coming out. Your support means so much to these youth exhibitors. They couldn't do it without you, whether you're a grandparent, someone who bred and sold these animals to these youth, parents, siblings, cousins. You mean so much to these youth. So thank you for supporting them and continuing to support them. I would also like to invite you guys to the Cookies and Crown event today at 2:30 in the hospitality building. So come on out. And I would like to introduce you to your 2023 Fairest of the Fair candidate.
Good morning, everyone. As Brooke said, I'm your 2023 Fairest of the Fair contestant, Alora Repman, and I would also like to welcome you to the Barron County Fair on this cold Wisconsin Thursday. And we just really appreciate you guys coming out here, supporting the youth. They put so much time and effort into their animals, so it just shows that you appreciate all the hard work that they're putting in with these animals year round. So thank you to you guys, and stay warm. And again, 2:30 in the hospitality building. We are having cookies and grounds, and we hope to see you there.
Thank you so much. Next up, we'll have our market class number 3, but I do want to announce the results from market class number 2. So for market class number 2, first place went to Caleb Germanson of the Northern Lights. Second place to Brady Mickelson, Country Siders. Third to Natalie Ellefson of the Country Siders. Fourth to Troy McDonough, Country Siders. 5th to Cadence Holton, also of the Countrysiders. 6th to Jarrett Moreau of the Marquette Pacemakers. 7th, Miles Holton of the Countrysiders. 8th, Olivia Wilger of the Doyle Juniors. And 9th, Sophie Stang of the Marquette Pacemakers. Congratulations, market class number 2. In the ring right now, we have market class number 3. Those individuals include Miles Holton, Troy McDonough, Mason Zemke, Brooke Colburn, Natalie Ellison, Adam Worth, Andrew Casper, Cheyenne Matthews, and Carter Zimmerman. In the holding area, we want to start having our market class number 4 exhibitors make their way to the holding area with their hogs. Those individuals will include Aiden Drost, Kennedy Drost, Trinity Matthews, Callie Stovern, Blake Germanson, Lillian Harmon, Elliot Meyer, Sawyer Wilger, and Sophia Kunish. So once again, in the ring right now, we have market class number 3.
As we get out here in this next class, I think the top three are very, very good in their own right, but I think there is that one that just kind of surfaces for the top here today, and that'll be the young man's belted pig. I think when you study this one, when he really gets this one driving and going, he's doing an awful good job. I think when he gets that one's head cranked up and moving, I definitely think maybe he is a little too, maybe a little bit shorter back, and definitely I like to lengthen him out. But I think when you study this one's overall head carriage and how he ties his shoulder into his skeleton and overall rib shape, is definitely where he sorts himself to the top. Like I said, maybe I like to make him a little bit the rib longer and definitely maybe stouten up at the ground compared to the two that come behind him. But I think overall balance and just overall quality, he finds himself at the top. The young lady's York appearing Gill here is going to find herself in second, and she's doing an awesome job showing this one today. I just think that this one's overall mass and muscle and overall skeletal width and dimension is what finds her here in second. I think that one's rib shape and overall muscle and how that one ties its blade back into his skeleton and definitely still extended up to the top side of its shoulder is why she finds herself here in second. The young lady's one that's given her a little bit of trouble here in third. It was definitely the biggest legged, probably stoutest at the ground. He just does an overall transition, his ham into his loin the best for me, and I think when you study this one, he just gets a little restricted in his hip and hind leg, and definitely doesn't lay his shoulder blade back into his skeleton good enough for me here today. The young man's gilt, if we could just maybe make her a little square hipped, a little longer hipped, and just give her a little bit more overall fill into her center portion of her body, this one might be a different story. This is a good-looking, good-chested, overall good sculpt type of pig. Just gets a little too round, a little too straight in its overall hip and hind leg to move up any higher. The young man's that comes out next, would we like to just give him maybe a little more shot of bone and mass and foot size at the base of the ground? Absolutely, but this is a big back, super big hip and hind leg, and we could just overall give this one some more feature and some overall more look. I think that one would do really good in this class. And the young man that comes out next with this barrel, and like I've been talking, this one's just not stout enough. He's not big enough bone, not big enough footed, but he's definitely extended. He's a longer body. We just like to give him a little more square out of his hip and hind leg and just give him a little more of a flexibility because I think he just gets a little uncoordinated in his hip and hind leg. The young man's gilt that comes out next, kind of same story. I'd like to open her up in her hip and hind leg, give him a little more overall skeletal width, give him some more rib shape, kind of lay that shoulder back into his body, or into her body, and just kind of extend it out of the top side of its skeleton. Then we round out the class here with a shorter body, rounder hips type of one. But we just need to make a bigger footed, bigger boned, and just kind of give him some more overall ring presence. I think this one gets maybe a little bit rounder in his overall muscle shape and a little bit rounder in his overall skeletal width, and he definitely tracks outside of himself. But that was just got a couple things for me here today to move this young man up any higher. But let's go ahead and give all these kids a nice round of applause.
For market class number 3, congratulations. First place to Adam Worth of the Country Siders. Second place to Natalie Ellefson, Country Siders. Third place to Brooke Colburn of the Vermilion Cruisers. Fourth place, Miles Holton, Country Siders. Fifth place, Mason Zemke, Country Kids. Sixth place, Andrew Casper of the Vermilion Cruisers. Seventh place, Troy McDonough, Country Siders. Eighth place, Carter Zimmerman, Marquette Pacemakers. And ninth place, Cheyenne Matthews, Marquette Pacemakers. In the ring right now, we have market class number 4. This includes Aiden Drost, Kennedy Drost, Trinity Matthews, Callie Stovern, Blake Germanson, Lillian Harmon, Elliot Meyer, Sawyer Wilger, and Sophia Kunish. On deck for market class number 5, Aiden Drost, Cadence Fulton, Michaela Stovern, Marcus Zemke, Caleb Germanson, Emily Zemke, Nolan Ewings, Adam Worth, and Bryson Waring.
As we get out here, let's go ahead and congratulate these kids right away, because, man, these top 3 showmen are doing an awfully good job. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady here on the far left of my to use as, to win this class. I think when you study this one's overall extension and overall muscle shape, she definitely, this barrel finds himself at the top side. He's wild in his overall look and his overall extension, while still having tons of overall muscle shape and using his hip and hind leg very adequate. I think this young lady's barrel here that comes in second is definitely in contention in this class. I just would like to see this one maybe a little bit more tall at the top side of its shoulder and just kind of use its hip and hind leg just a little bit more with free and ease, because I do think that this one's overall muscle shape and body width is very good. I think this is a very good two to start this class. The young lady here driving this one is doing a heck of a job. I think this one's overall, this gilt's muscle shape and dimension and still body width is definitely very adequate, and that's where she finds herself here in third. I'd just like to make her, maybe a rib longer, kind of lay her shoulder back in, and just give her, a little bit more use with that hip and hind leg, because I think she might just get a little restricted and straight for me here today. The young man's white appearing barrel here, I think just gets real straight in his hip and hind leg. Right now he's kind of how he's standing. He just looks awfully straight and just doesn't have enough overall gut fill and overall flank, and just kind of overall changes progression in his underline. But I think this is a big backed, good muscled, very well type of hog for this individual. The young man that comes out next, I think maybe we could just definitely open this one up. You get behind this one and he tracks very narrow in his overall makeup, but still tons of muscle, tons of shape, and just like to stouten that one up. The young man's gilt that comes out next, I definitely think was, the decision for me here, because this is a stout-legged, good muscle type one. I think with maybe 30 more days or even 20 more days on feed, this one would be a different story, because this one's just real green in its overall makeup. Not enough rib, not enough overall center portion of body for that one. And the young man that comes out next, I just don't think that there's enough overall product in this one. He just gets a little flat muscle, just gets a little closed up inside, and definitely just doesn't have the overall center of body width, and just like to lengthen and square out his hip for me here today. The young lady that comes out next definitely is, a very practical type of hog. Just, this one's packed full of muscle and stuff, but there's just not an overall, the look and ring presence for me here today. And the one that rounds out the class, we definitely just like to make a bit stouter, just definitely give it a little more overall ring presence and look, but there's definitely a place for those. Let's give all of these kids a nice round of applause.
Press the icon.
In that last class for Market Hog class number 4, first place went to Callie Stovern, Kids from Cameron. Second place to Lillian Harmon, Country Ciders. Third place, Elliot Meyer, Doyle Juniors. Fourth place, Kennedy Drost, Northern Lights. Fifth place, Blake Germanson, Northern Lights. Sixth place, Aiden Drost, also of the Northern Lights. Seventh place, Sawyer Wilder, Doyle Juniors. Eighth place, Sophia Kunish, Northern Lights. Ninth place, Trinity Matthews, Marquette Pacemakers. In the ring right now, we have our market class number 5. So those exhibitors include Aiden Drost, Cadence Holton, Michaela Stovern, Marcus Zemke, Caleb Germanson, Emily Zemke, Nolan Ewings, Adam Worth, and Bryson Waring. Pigs and exhibitors that are on deck for market class number 6 include Michaela Weibel, Ashlyn Harmon, Olivia Wilger, Adam Worth, James Meyer, Isaac Mickelson, Jack Oden, and Michaela Stovern.
Come here. Here, folks. Come here.
So much shit is just for sale.
Let's go ahead and give these three exhibitors a round of applause. I think this class here, and like I said, these three are awfully good, and I definitely took a little bit of extra time because I think the sort on these are awfully different. All three are definitely different in their overall type and kind. And with that being said, I'm just going to kind of talk about them before I let you know how I'm going to place these ones. I'm going to go ahead and talk the blue gilts here for this young lady. This is a good muscle, good hip and hind leg one that just maybe isn't opened up enough for me, but I think that this one has enough shape and overall look to definitely find itself here in the top three. The young lady's barrel here is a longer sided, bigger backed, one that uses hip and hind leg very, very adequate in its overall makeup. But this one, maybe just isn't opened up enough, isn't overall, I'd like to lay that one's shoulder back into him, but that one's head and carries his head and neck very, very good. And the young man's barrel here, is probably one of the frailer made ones here in the top three, but this one's overall design and skeletal build and shape up high is very adequate, and I think this one's overall rib shape and mass in the center third of his body is what definitely found himself here in the top third of the top three in this class. And with that being said, I'm going to take one more sort here because I'm not exactly sure what I want to do yet, but let's go ahead and give these three exhibitors a round of applause. As I made my decision here, I'm going to go ahead and use this young lady's barrel to win the class. I think this one's overall length of body and extension is definitely more adequate for me here in the type of pigs I'm looking for. He's the stouter made, the bigger backed, and definitely for me, that's the ones that I kind of gravitate toward, and that's my type and kind. Nothing to take away from this young man's barrel here. He's going to come second. I think this one's overall look and presence and shape is definitely good. I just need to make him stouter at the ground, kind of open him up, especially when he's tracking right at you. He gets all awful closed up, and that's why he finds himself here in second. Nothing taken away from this young lady here with the blue pig. I just would like to just see this one's overall shape in its hip and hind leg carry out through and just kind of make him a little square and longer in his overall hip, but a really good top set of 3 on this class. The young ladies that comes out here in fourth, but definitely muscle and overall has a ton of overall shape and muscle on the top side of its back. I'd just like to open it up in its overall chest and just square him out of his hip. He just gets a little too round and short hip for me here today. The young man's that comes next is definitely one that I think could play in a lighter division or even just have another 20-30 days on feed, because this one's skeletal build is very, very good. Just needs more time. I think this one's overall green and just doesn't have enough overall shape and overall fill here for me here today. The young man's barrow that comes out next, you talk about one that's got a big back, overall big hip and hind leg, just gets a little stale and definitely gets a little bit bold in its overall shoulder. I'd like to just kind of lay his shoulder back into his skeleton, give him a little bit more overall rib shape so he blends from his forerib into his overall rib, and that one could definitely move himself up a little higher. The one that comes out next just gets a little plain in his overall muscle shape. I'd like to see him just, a bit stouter at the ground, lengthen him out a little bit, and he's definitely carrying a little bit of extra condition. I think for his overall, this is probably a bit more moderate style, and that one could definitely move up a little higher. The one that comes out next, I think is, maybe the exact opposite of the one I was just talking. This one could definitely use a bit more shot of overall length and body, but he is the stouter, he is the bigger backed one. I just have a little bit more structural issues with this one. He gets a little too closed up underneath and just isn't blown apart enough for me. The young man that rounds out the class, I think that this one just gets a little straight in his hip and hind leg. Again, just not opened up enough, not overall skeletal width and build, but a really good class. Let's give all these exhibitors a round of applause.
The results for market class number 5. Congratulations to Michaela Stovern from the Kids from Cameron, ranking first. Second place in the class was Adam Worth of the Countrysiders. Third place to Cadence Fulton, also of the Countrysiders. Fourth to Emily Zemke of the Clayton FFA. Fifth to Aiden Drost of the Northern Lights. Sixth, Marcus Zemke of the Country Kids. 7th, Caleb Germanson, Northern Lights. 8th place, Bryson Waring, Doyle Juniors. And 9th place, Nolan Ewings of the Prairie Hustlers. In the ring right now is market class number 6. So we have Michaela Weibel, Ashlyn Harmon, Olivia Wilger, Adam Worth, James Meyer, Isaac Mickelson, Jack Oden, and Michaela Stovern. So that's market class 6, which is in the ring right now. The next group, market class number 7, if they can start making their way to the holding area. So we have Ethan Germanson, Sawyer Wilger, Lillian Harmon, Jack Oden, Dane Stoborough, Jackie Solom, Max Oden, and Ashlyn Harmon can be in the holding area.
As we get in this next class, I think it falls in for me very, very easily. I'm going to go ahead and use this young lady's blue belt to win this class. I think this one's exceptionally well in its overall skeletal build and makeup. She gets that one heads cranked up and definitely moving very, very good, and props to you for that, because I think this one's overall balance is definitely there. This one's big backed, big muscled, uses her hip and hind leg very good, and she tracks the best away from you when she sets into motion. She's square about her overall hip and hind leg, and that's why you win this class very handily for me here today. Congratulations. I think the sort comes down to second and third for me, and definitely kind of picking and choosing. Do you use maybe a bigger muscled, a frailer made one, or do you kind of go with the sound option that balances up well? And that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. You young ladies right here in front of me, the black-headed one's going to go second. This gilt's just really cool. Her overall makeup and her extension up through her front 1/3, and definitely has tons of shape. We just maybe like to blow her apart in her overall rib, and maybe like to just kind of free her up in her hip and hind leg a little bit, but that's a good place to fall into second. The young man's belted here is gonna go third. I just like to stouten this one up and just give him a little bit more free and ease in his hip and hind leg. But I just think that one has kind of got out-horsed and out-powered here in this class. That's a really, really good one to go third. Next, the young ladies one. It was maybe a little harder to get a good read on this one because she was wanting to hug the fence the whole time. But this one, when she's on the standstill, looks awfully, awfully good. She just gets a little loose in her hip and hind leg and doesn't want to use that to her overall ability. But that's a good underlined, good chested, a good one to fall forward. The young ladies one that I really like and you have to appreciate for its overall muscle shape. He just gets a little too tight in his spine around his loin, and when you study this one, he tracks from behind. He likes to get outside of his skeleton and just doesn't stay square enough for me here today. The young man's that comes out next, it's kind of the same situation, but this one just gets a little round in his hip and a little straight in his hip and hind leg, and just like to free him up in his overall mobility and just kind of lay his shoulder back into him. The young man's that comes out next just gets real terminal in his overall look, and I like to just kind of stouten him up, give him a little bit more overall ring presence, but a really good one to fall next. And the young man's that rounds out the class, his barrel just has got some overall structure issues, but packed full of tons of shape. I bet you get that one on the rail in the cooler, and he's going to look awfully, awfully good. Let's go ahead and give all these exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Results for market class number 6. First place to Michaela Weibel of the Barron FFA. Second place to Ashlyn Harmon of the Countrysiders. Third place to Adam Worth, Countrysiders. Fourth place, Olivia Wilger, Doyle Juniors. Fifth place to Michaela Stoburn, Kids from Cameron. Sixth place to Isaac Mickelson, Countrysiders. Seventh place to Jack Oden, Section 10. Eighth place, James Meyer, Doyle Juniors. In the ring right now, we have market class number 7. That includes Ethan Germanson, Sawyer Wilger, Lillian Harmon, Jack Oden, Dane Stolborough, Jackie Solum, Max Oden, and Ashlyn Harmon. The following individuals should be making their way to the holding pen and will be on deck. That's market class 8, including Dane Stolborough, Nick Casper, Tyler Waring, Jackie Solum, Summer Stokes, Aiden Drost, Sean Holton, Elliot Meyer, and Bryce Colburn.
as we get out here in the next class. I think there's two that sort themselves to the top for me. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady coming right at me to win the class. I think this one's overall balance and overall skeletal build is definitely what sorts this bear to the top. You get behind this one, he's a big back, big ribs, big hip and hind leg. Maybe if I'd like to change this one, I'd just like to give him a little more flexibility at the base of the ground at his hock. But I think that this one's overall shoulder blade and how he transitioned into his rib is definitely what finds himself here. Not taking anything away from this young lady. Maybe there is something off in this one's overall back. Maybe it's got a little abrasion there, but I do think that this one, when you study this one's overall build and movement, is definitely what finds herself here in second. I'd just like to maybe give that one a little bit more foot and a little bit more bone at the base and just kind of give it a little more flank and set him into his overall belly. But that's a really good one to fall second. The young man's that comes into third is definitely the stout-made, more moderate, shorter built type of one, and he's being a little bit stubborn right now. But I think when he was out moving around earlier, you could just really see the overall quality in that one's overall muscle shape and build and design. We just need to make him a little bit, maybe like a rib longer, and just give him a little more ring presence. But that young man's doing an awfully good job. The young man that comes out next with the blue-headed one here, I think when you study this one's overall back shape and muscle, definitely a very good thing on this one. She don't use her hip and hind leg like she should. I'd like to set her blade back into her and just give a little bit more overall skeletal width from behind to move that one up any higher. The one that comes out next, we need to stouten that one up at the ground and just give him a longer and square out of his hip and hind leg. She just wants to get a little wasty in her overall jowl for me here today, and definitely would just like to round her or square her up in her hip. She gets too round for me here. This young man, we just need to get this one built and opened up in the center portion of his body, give a little more width and overall dimension, and just add some more shape and power to that one. That one just gets a little too flat muscle to not have enough overall shape for me here today. The young man here that comes out next, I do think that there's a lot of quality in this thing. There's just not enough overall product and overall shape to go with the ones ahead of it. This one uses hip and hind leg good, just need to open it up and give it a little bit more muscle. And the red pig here that kind of rounds out the class, we just like to overall give that one some more foot and bone and muscle to move them up any higher. But let's go ahead and give all these exhibitors a nice round of applause.
Leaving the ring right now was market class number 7. Congratulations to our award winners. First place in market class number 7 was Ashlyn Harmon of the Countrysiders. Second place to Lillian Harmon of the Countrysiders. Third place, Dane Stoberl of the Vermilion Cruisers. Fourth place, Ethan Germanson, Northern Lights. Fifth place, Max Oden of Section 10. Sixth place, Jack Oden of Section 10. Seventh place, Sawyer Wilger, Doyle Juniors. And eighth place, Jackie Solom, Marquette Pacemakers. In the ring right now is market class number 8. That includes Dane Stoberl, Nick Casper, Kyler Waring, Jackie Solom, Summer Stokes, Aiden Drost, Sean Holton, Elliot Meyer, and Bryce Colburn. The next individual should be moving towards the holding pen for market class number 9 is on deck. That includes Jackie Solom, Brianna Wells, Kyler Waring, Bryce Colburn, Sean Holton, Troy McDonough, Callie Stoburn, and Nolan Wilger.
That's awesome. Because then Dad's
I'm gonna look. I got it. Yeah, bud.
Kennedy. Yeah, my ear was really. You know this one? Right? It'll be coming out tomorrow. No, he doesn't. That's not the one part. If you like, pay somebody who doesn't watch. Yeah, this one thing. It's not quickly if you want. Or like, I'll just let it. Oh my gosh, I feel like she sent it Jeffrey. Take one. I will say. Okay. Ethan? Yeah, I can. No, not so much. He's like, he doesn't talk to me. We just slightly get
Text somebody to go log on and start making days. Start holding signs.
She was so sweet. Yeah, so sweet. And we thought it was Let me know if Presley can throw you on. You don't even have to attend one. I'll just come out. And it's okay for me to talk. And I'm a leader, so I can catch it. We spent a lot of time with Carmen. There's some kids here, you know. This is the first time they touch me. So, let me know, Presley.
I get out in this class, and I definitely think I have a sort that I have to do, and I definitely took a little bit of extra time because I don't know exactly how I want to do it because there's so many different types and kinds. And with that being said, I kind of just had to land on the most balanced. The sound is structured because I do think every single one of these I like to change structurally and just how their skeleton is built. But with that being said, I go ahead and use this barrel right here in the middle of in the ring here to win the class. I think when you study this one, he balances up the most. I think when you overall look at him and overall examine how this one's built and overall skeletally puts it together, he's built the best out of any of the three here that I have still in the ring. You know, he's probably maybe not the biggest backed, but he definitely has enough muscle, enough shape for me to use him. He's definitely stout enough for me to use him. You know, would I like to maybe extend him up and make him taller at the top side of his shoulder and maybe make him a little square out of his hip and hind leg? Absolutely, but I think that's the most logical, well-balanced place to start with this class. Next, I'm going to use this young man's gilt here on the side of the ring. I think that this is probably the longer body compared to the one I go ahead and use the class with. She's getting real restricted on her right rear leg. You know, she kind of kicks it out when she sets into motion. You know, but she is the bigger backed, bigger muscle type of one. And this one definitely a stout skull type of female. And it has tons of overall muscle and bone work at the base of the ground. But there's just not enough EXTs for me here to go ahead and use her to win the class. With that skeletal issue, I just can't go ahead and quite justify using her. And as the young man's barrel that falls here in third, man, I'll tell you from the start, I'm a sucker for an all-black pig. If there's an all-black one that's really, really good, I'm all in on that one. For some reason, I just like the look and the overall presence that they got in the ring, but this one just gets too straight in his hock. He gets a little too round in his hip and doesn't have enough of an extension to the front 1/3, but that one's overall just rib shape and overall mass and muscle. When you get on the top side of this one, in his center portion of his body is what finds himself here in third. Congratulations, young man. The one that comes out in fourth was definitely also in contention for me. He gets too short-sided for me. I like to make him a little bit rib longer, you know, and he gets a little straight in his hock, and he definitely shows that in his left rear when he sets into motion. I just like to make it a little sounder and probably a little bit squarer out of his hip and hind leg, but that's a really good one to fall fourth. The nun that falls in fifth, I definitely also think was in contention for me for a minute, and then I just overall studied how this one ties his blade into his overall skeleton. He doesn't have enough overall rib shape. I like to lay that blade in. He's a little too bold-shouldered for me here today, but that one's packed full of muscle, big, stout feet and legs at the base of the ground. Just has that front 1/3 isn't good enough for me here today, and that's why he finds himself fifth. I think that one's skeletal and overall spine could just use a little bit of tweaking to move him up any higher. The young lady here that comes up next is doing a heck of a job, and I know she might have a little issue in the ring over there, but man, she's doing an awful job driving this one, and I think that this one has some quality to him. He just kind of gets out-horsed. You know, we'd like to just kind of make him taller at the point of his shoulder, just give a little more substance and overall foot at the base of the ground to move up any higher. The young man's that comes out next, this gilt is an awfully good one. I just would like to change her hip and hind leg. She gets a little too round in her hip, and she gets a little too loose in her, she motors that rear leg, but that one's a big muscle. I like to just lay her skeleton, lay her blade back into her skeleton, a little bit, and just give her a little bit more of those EXTs to move her up any higher. The young man's York appearing barrel that comes out next just gets a little flat-sided. And same with that one, he gets a little bold in his shoulder, and I like to just kind of lay that back and just give him a little bit more overall muscle shape and overall dimension and width about his overall skeleton. And the young lady's red pig that falls next just kind of gets out-horsed. You know, she gets a little straight off her hip and hind leg. Yeah, especially that left rear leg. She just gets a little too straight. There's not enough overall muscle and dimension that goes with the overall look of this one. I just like to clean him up in his front 1/3 and just give him a little bit more show ring presence. But a really tough class, as you saw how long it took me. But let's go ahead and give these kids a nice round of applause. All right, for class number 8, placing first, Summer Stokes. Second, Bryce Colburn. Third, Nick Casper. 4, Aiden Drost. 5, Sean Holton. 6, Elliot Myers. 7, Dane Stoverall. 8, Kyler Waring. And 9, Jackie Solom. Congratulations. All right, for market class number 9, entering the ring, we should have Jackie Solom, Brianna Wells, Kyler Waring, Bryce Colburn, Sean Holton, Troy McDonough, Kaylee Stovern, and Nolan Wilger.
I would take it. Do you want a yogurt? No, it kind of sounds good. Oh my think about it. Cleaned out my purse and so I have like granola behind so I'm there like my what I'm grabbing my papers too. I have I just grabbed it. Okay, now I'm gonna I like cinnamon. What do you need? Sally should have her phone on her. It should be in that fanny pack. She should have her fanny pack. God.
As we get out here in our second to last class, I think there's one for me that does an awfully good job. The showman does, but not only that, she's driving an awful good one. The young lady with the white pig's going to go ahead and win this class. I think when you study this one's overall build and muscle shape is what finds this one. This is a big back. I mean, look at the crease down this one's overall spine with how much muscle and shape there is. Awesome big hip and hind leg in this one. And she definitely has all the EXTs and extension up through her front 1/3. She's tall enough at the point of her shoulder. And with that being said, the young lady does an awful good job driving her. And that's why she finds herself on the top side of this class. The young man's barrel here right in front of me, I think is a very logical place to fall in the second. second. He's a good athletic-looking show pig here, and I would just like to maybe widen him up in his overall center portion of his body, give him a little bit more overall width at the base of the ground. When he stands, he's wide enough, but when he tracks, he just gets a little too narrow for me here today. But that's a very good looking. Just maybe need a little bit more overall muscle and time with that one. We could probably have another 15 days on feed, and he'd look a lot different. And with that, the young man's calico here that comes out next, I think is definitely is a hard place for me to land because there's so much muscle and shape and dimension packed into that one. He's just so restricted in his hip and hind leg. He gets a little tight in his spine when he sets out into motion. We can let that one out. And he just, like I said, he gets tight in his spine when he sets into motion and just not good enough structurally built for me here today, but a really good one in third. The young man's that falls into fourth just gets a little cresty in his overall neck. A little wasty. I mean, probably 15 days ago, this one would have been looking a hell of a lot different because I think that the overall shape and skeletal width is there for this one. He just wants to get a little loose in his hip and hind leg when he sets into motion for me here today. The young lady's the red gilt that comes out next. I think that there's an overall quality here. She just gets a little too tight in her ham loin for me. When she gets out in motion, she gets restricted in her hip and hind leg movement, and there just isn't enough overall stoutness and bone at the base of the ground for that one for me. The young man that comes out next, same kind of deal. He just is not stout enough at the ground. I think there's a lot of quality in this one. There's tons of shape and muscle. Just gets restricted in its overall movements. Would just like to maybe fix his couple structural issues and just kind of give him a little bit more ring presence, and he'd be able to do a heck of a lot more. The young lady's reddish sheer pig, the gilt that comes out next, just gets a little terminal in her overall makeup. I like to square it up in her hip and hind leg, just give it more overall bone and footwork at the base of the ground, and just overall give her more center body. And that's the same thing with the one that came out next. We just need to give it more center body, a little bit more ring presence to move them up any higher. But let's give all these kids a nice round of applause. All right, taking market class number 9, Kaylee Stolvern. Following that, Kyler Waring. Placing third, Bryce Colburn. Fourth, Troy McDonough. Fifth, Brianna Wells, followed by Sean Holton. 7, Jackie Solem. And 8, Nolan Wilger. Coming up for market class number 10, entering the show arena. Okay, Nicholas Wells, Kristen Vincent, Callie Stokes, Riley Majewski, Cheyenne Matthews, Trinity Matthews, Nolan Wilger with 2 hogs, and Paige Picknell.
Well, that's what I was worried about. Here, give this to Dad. Yes, she needs that. There's two more
You want me to go get Walter ready? After Chandler goes out, then I just want you to hang by your stall because Kylie will come and get you. Kaylee Harnan, she'll come and get you guys at your pens. So after Caleb and I do championship drive, because you guys are at top of your class, I would just go stand by your pens because then they'll call. Yeah, you would. After they do champion, once they take champion, then I want you guys to go because then they're going to call you out for classes to rank you out, to pick your number to rank in the entire barn. So after they do champion, because you guys are all top of your classes, after this is class one, so then they're going to do champion drive next, and then I want you guys to stand by your pens because they're going to be coming around then, and someone will come and
Attention hog exhibitors. Hey, following this class, we will be starting our live rank, but before that, we'll have our champion drive. So our number 1 and 2 placings from each class should be getting ready, and all exhibitors should be trying to make your decisions to determine which animals you want to bring out for live rank. As we get out here in our top pair, let's go ahead and give both these young ladies an awesome big round of applause. They're doing a heck of a job. And with that being said, I do think that these two sorted themselves to the top very handily for me. The quality in these two are awfully good. I do think that there's one that just kind of sorts himself to the top. and that's going to be the young lady right here with the big belted pig. I just think that this one's overall freshness and look and overall show ring presence is what kind of finds himself. He's a big backed, big muscled type of pig with tons of overall rib shape. I just think that this one just balances up the best. I like his head and neck carriage the best, and that's why he finds himself. The young lady down here, taking nothing away from her with the cauliflower eared pig, I just think that this one just maybe gets a little underneath himself when he sets into motion, and just like to clean him up through his overall jowl and just maybe like him a little bit more balanced like the one that goes ahead and wins. But these two are packed full of quality. Let's give them one more big round of applause. The young man that comes out next with the white pig, that one falls 3 for me, and I think that one is the longer sided, bigger muscled one. It's definitely not the stoutest compared to the one that comes next. We can let both these out actually. The white gilt's definitely not the stouter made one, but I do think that there's a lot of quality and overall muscle shape and cutability in that one, and definitely the freer and easier moving structured one, and that's where the young ladies one comes in 4th. Just gets restricted in its hip and hind leg, and definitely, like I was saying though, that is the bigger, stouter, bigger muscled one. Just not good enough moving for me here today to work that one up any higher. Next we got the young man's red barrel that comes out. That's a big muscled for a red pig. You got to really appreciate the quality that this one has in it. Definitely free and easy about its overall muscle and structural ability. Just kind of runs into some big muscle, big backed ones ahead of it. That one definitely falls in logically for me here today. The young man's shaved red pig here that comes out next just gets really underneath himself when he sets into motion. He gets restricted in his hip and hind leg. This is a little too bold shouldered for me. I like to lay that back into his skeleton, give him a little more overall rib shape to move him up any higher. The young man's white bear that comes out next, definitely the same thing. Just gets underneath himself, gets too straight in his overall hip, in his hip and hind leg when he sets into motion. But that one also just gets a little too bold shoulder, doesn't have enough overall muscle to run with the ones that higher. The young ladies that comes out next, I just like to give it a little bit more shot of foot and bone at the base of the ground. Definitely level them out in her overall hip and hind leg, and just give her a shot more length of an extension in that hip to move them up any higher. And the young ladies one was giving us some trouble here to start to get penned up, but this one is definitely the longer bodied. It has packed full of muscle. We just need to see it stouter. Definitely getting a little overdone here, and definitely getting a little too much overall condition on that one. There's just not overall much skeletal width and cracked open enough here for me today. But let's go ahead and give all these exhibitors a round of applause.
Before I announce the results from Market Class 10, just want to let you know the next stages of the show. So the next part of our show will deal with our championship drive. So we will be naming our champion and also reserve champion of the sale eligible hogs. So what that will look like is those of you that got a first blue in each of the sale eligible classes, you're going to want to start coming to the holding area. Okay. Once we have everyone there, what we'll do is we're going to bring out those 10 hogs. So those are the number 1 pigs from each of their respective sale classes. The champion will be named, and then we will need to have the second place blue of each of those class kind of on deck, ready to go if you need to be pulled in for that reserve. So once again, for the reserve, we're going to have 10 pigs out there as well to name the reserve. At that point, we'll have a little bit of a break because many of you showed more than 1 pig and had more than 1 pig that were sale eligible. And so what you'll need to do is you're going to need to decide which pig you want to bring out for live rank. So you can only have 1 pig that you're bringing out for live rank. You're going to come up to the announcer stand. Mr. Richter is up here and myself, and you want to let us know which one you are bringing out for live rank. So we'll have a little bit of break as we figure that out, and then we will proceed on with our live rank. So during that time, we'll always have 10 pigs out into the ring, and we'll name who's next on deck and such. So more information to follow, but just right now, if all of our first blues can come to the holding area, there should be 10 of them. And then if you were a second blue, just be ready in case we need to pull you in. The results from market class number 10, thanks for being patient there. So Callie Stokes from the Barron FFA was number 1. Second place was Riley Majewski from the Vermilion Cruisers. Third place, Nolan Wilger from the Doyle Juniors. In fourth place, Cheyenne Matthews, Marquette Pacemakers. Fifth place was Nolan Wilger's second hog. Nolan is with the Doyle Juniors. Sixth place, Nicholas Wells, Vermilion Cruisers. Seventh place, Tristan Vincent, Prairie Hustlers. Eighth, Trinity Matthews, Marquette Pacemakers. And ninth, Paige Picknell of the Country Kids. So we have our first and second blue animals in the holding area. We're gonna start pulling out our first place pigs. We've asked our judge not to start judging until those 10 pigs are all out there. But we're gonna start pulling in our top 10 pigs from each class. So the first place in market class number 1 is Lillian Harmon Country Ciders. The first place pig from market class number 2 is Caleb Germanson from the Northern Lights. In market class number 3, first blue is Adam Worth of Country Ciders. Market class 4, first blue is Callie Stovern. In market class 5, first blue is Michaela Stovern. Market class 6, first blue, Michaela Weibel. Market class 7, first blue is Ashlyn Harmon. Market class 8, first blue, Summer Stokes. In market class number 9, our first blue is Callie Stovern. And then finally, market class number 10, our first blue was Callie Stokes. So once again, we're starting to bring those out. We'll have our judge start judging once we get all 10 out in the ring.
Check in, right?
All right, guys, we can let the pigs rest. As we get out here in your champion drive here, I think that as we get my 10 class winners back, I'm very pleased with the quality that we have and the consistency, and I hope you guys sitting ringside can really understand the type and kind that I like. I like him big-legged, I like him good-backed, I like him good moving, and really good-looking, and that's the thing that we're in the show pig industry. We're striving to produce is a well-balanced, good-structured type of hog, and I think that the 10 that we have out here definitely represent that. So let's go ahead and give all these exhibitors a round of applause. As your kids, if you're either here in the ring or, you got sent back to the barn, I do think that there is one thing that you should definitely do when you get done here this afternoon, is thank the people that helped you get to this spot. Whether it's a breeder or, if you're working with a trader or, you guys are raising these projects at home with your parents. I definitely think that there's a spot of gratitude that you have to give to them, because this definitely isn't easy. This thing that we do, showing livestock is not easy. Yes, I have a full-time job, but I say I have another full-time job and a half running around to livestock shows and raising stock myself, and I definitely, see the quality and the time and the effort that it takes to do this at the level that we do it at. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and get everyone around the ringside a round of applause for all the hard work that they do. With that being said, we can fire these guys back up again here. I think that there's four that really sort themselves to the top for me here today. The quality was deep, no matter the classes that we were in, but I do think out here as we get them into drive, there is four that sort themselves to the top. And with that being said, the young lady right here in the black shirt will be your champion pig. Congratulations. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So our champion went to Michaela Weibel of the Barron FFA, so congratulations to Michaela. Michaela was the winner of Market Class 6, so what that means is that Ashlyn Harmon will now bring her second blue market hog into the class to complete the ring with 10 total hogs, and then the reserve champion will be named.
As we drop out that second in that class, I think that one definitely gave the champion a run for its money in class. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take one more look, because I think that one kind of threw a wrench into the game for me, where I'm going to go with reserve. So I'm going to take one more look. It's down to 3 for me. Let's give one more big round of applause. These kids are doing a great job. I definitely know about keeping it a secret once ones I like. I think the thing is we got to really commend these kids and for bringing out this quality of livestock. Like I said before, the one that we dropped down second was awfully good and gave that champion a run for her money. That's a good-legged, good built, really sound structured one. That's why she's going to be reserved. Congratulations.
Congratulations to our reserve champion, Ashlyn Harmon of the Countrysiders. Ashlyn had the second blue in market class number 6. All right, our next up is we are going to have our live rink. So what that means is we're gonna have a little bit of a break, and any of exhibitors that had more than one market hog that was sale eligible, you need to come to the stand, and Mr. Richter will record what your choice is as far as which pig you're bringing out for live rink. So at this time, if you have more than one market hog, you want to come and meet Mr. Richter and myself in the middle of the ring, and we're going to get that written down. For those of you that are coming out where you have more than one market hog, if you can tell us what class the market hog that you're showing is in, and then be prepared to share with us which ones we need to cross off. So know what market hog class you were in for the pig you want to take out, and then also let us know which ones we need to cross off.
Glad you got a good game there, George. Kept truck.
We're gonna go take it for a go walk around. That's what got all the show.
Thank you for your patience, and I want to say thank you also to our exhibitors that were awesome about coming up here and helping us update our sale ranking, record keeping. So how this is going to work once again is we're always going to have 10 pigs in the ring. And what our judge will do is he is going to start out by naming number 3 all the way up. 40 are guaranteed in the sale. We'll rank a little bit further just in case we need that. But 40 guaranteed. Okay, so what I'm going to do to start out with is I'm going to announce who are the 10 that should be in the ring. Once we have those all established, we will name the on deck. Okay. So our pigs that we want in the ring to start out with here. For market class 1, we're going to go to our 4th place, which would be Molly Peterson. And then on deck for market class number 1 would then be Ben Casper. So for market class number 2, in the ring, we'll want Caleb Germanson. And then on deck, we're going to want Brady Mickelson. For class 3, in the ring, we want Natalie Ellefson. And then on deck for class 3, we'll have Brooke Colburn. For market class number 4, in the ring, we're going to start out with Elliot Meyer. And then on deck for that class will be Kennedy Drost.
Did they go?
Market class number 5. We're going to have Michaela Stovern will be in the ring. And then on deck will be Cadence Holton. For market class number 6, in the ring we're going to have Adam Worth. And then on deck we'll have Olivia Wilder. Market class number 7. We should have Lillian Harmon in the ring, and then on deck would be Dane Stoberl. Market class number 8, in the ring would be Summer Stokes. And then on deck would be Bryce Colburn. Market class number 9, in the ring would be Callie Stovern. And then on deck we'll have Kyler Waring. Market class number 10, in the ring, Callie Stokes. On deck would be Riley Majewski. So we have a few that aren't quite in the ring yet, so I'm going to name those ones that are going to be in the ring, and then we will go from there. So once again, for market class number 1, we want Molly Peterson in the ring. Market class number 2 would be Caleb Germanson. Market class number 3 would be Natalie Ellefson. Market class number 4, in the ring we should have Elliot Meyer. Market class number 5, Michaela Stovern. Market class number 6, we should have Adam Worth. Market class number 7, Lillian Harmon. Market class number 8, Summer Stokes. Market class number 9, Callie Stovern. Market class number 10, Callie Stokes. Right now we have 10 in the ring. So our judge will be picking the 3rd top ranked animal. Then we'll bring in the next one. And we will continue on with the rank. Ranking number 3 is coming out of class number 9, which is Callie Stovern from the kids from Cameron. So what that means is we need to bring in Kyler Waring for our representative from Market class number 9. And then on deck would be Troy McDonough. Yep. Ranking number 4 was Adam Worth from the Countrysiders, and that is coming out of class number 6. So we would like to have Olivia Wilger come into the ring right now representing class 6. And then on deck would be Isaac Mickelson from class 6. All right, we have 10 in the ring now. So number 5 is Callie Stokes coming out of the Barron FFA, and that was market class number 10. So in the ring right now for market class number 10, Riley Majewski should be coming into the ring, and then on deck will be Nolan Wilger. Okay, we have 10 pigs in the ring. Well, one moment. Number 6 is Summer Stokes from the Barron FFA. Summer is coming out of class number 8. So that means in the ring from class number 8, we need Bryce Colburn. So Bryce Colburn is going to be coming into the ring. On deck then would be Nick Casper. It's okay. You don't need it. We'll get it. Ranking number 7 is Michaela Stoburn from the Kids from Cameron. Michaela is coming out of class number 5. So next in the ring would be Cadence Fulton. And on deck for class 5 would be Emily Zemke. Ranking number 8 is Natalie Ellefson from the Countrysiders. That was coming out of class 3, which means that next we need Brooke Colburn in the ring. On deck, we need Miles Holton for class 3. Okay, we're good. Number 9, Lillian Harmon from the Countrysiders, coming out of class number 7. So in the ring next will be Dane Stoberl, and then on deck would be Ethan Germanson. Number 10, Kyler Waring from the Doyle Juniors. That is coming out of market class number 9, which means next we need Troy McDonough in the ring. Our on deck would be Brianna Wells. Kyler Waring. So number 11 is Brooke Colburn from the Vermilion Cruisers. That was class number 3. So in the ring next, we need Miles Holton. And then on deck would be Mason Zemke. Number 12, Elliot Meyer Doyle Juniors. That's coming out of class number 4. Next in the ring from class 4, we need Kennedy Drost. And then on deck would be Blake Germanson. Ranking number 13, Molly Peterson, Vermilion Cruisers, coming out of class number 1, which means we need Ben Casper in the ring next, and then Nolan Ewings would be on deck for class 1. So number 14 is Riley Majewski from Vermilion Cruisers. Riley is coming out of market class number 10, which means in the ring we need Nolan Wilder. On deck would be Cheyenne Matthews for class 10. Number 15, Troy McDonough from class number 9. In the ring next from class number 9, we need Brianna Wells. And that will end class 9. Ranking number 16, Olivia Wilder from the Doyle Juniors from market class number 6. In the ring next from market class number 6, we need Isaac Mickelson. On deck, James Meyer. Number 17 is Bryce Colburn of the Vermilion Cruisers. That's coming out of class number 8. So next in the ring, we will need Nicholas Casper. On deck from class number 8, Aiden Drost. Number 18, Nick Casper from the Vermilion Cruisers. That's coming out of market class number 8. In the ring now from class 8, we need Aiden Drost. And then on deck would be Sean Holton. Number 19, we have Cadence Holton from the Countrysiders. Cadence is coming out of class 5, which means that in the ring next, we're going to need Emily Zemke. On deck would be Marcus Zemke. Number 20 is going to be Aiden Drost, and he is coming out of market class number 8, which means we need Sean Holton in the ring next, and then that will actually complete market class 8, so no one on deck. Number 21 is Sean Holton. That's coming out of market class 8. And that is completed market class 8, which means that coming forward, we will have 9 pigs in the ring. Number 22 is Caleb Germanson. Caleb is coming out of class number 2, which means that next in the ring we need Brady Mickelson. And then on deck would be Jarrett Moreau.
You can take them out. Which class were you in? The first one. Okay.
Number 23, Ben Casper, Vermilion Cruisers, coming out of market class number 1. So next in for market class number 1, we need Nolan Ewings. On deck would be Amelia Kunish. Number 24, Nolan Ewings, coming out of class number 1. Nolan is from the Prairie Hustlers. So next in the ring from class number 1, we need Amelia Kunish. And there's no one on deck after her. So number 25, we have Isaac Mickelson from the Countrysiders. Isaac is coming out of market class number 6. Next in the ring, we need James Meyer. And there will be no one on deck for that class. Number 26 is Dane Stoberl from the Vermilion Cruisers, coming out of market class number 7, which means that next we need Ethan Germanson in the ring. On deck would be Max Oden. Number 27, we have Emily Zemke from the Clayton FFA. That was class number 5. So next in the ring is Marcus Zemke from the Country Kids. On deck would be Caleb Germanson. Correction.
Bryson Ware.
Correction. So in the ring next for class number 5 is Marcus Zemke. And then on deck, Bryson Waring.
Last one, then we're at 27.
27 is James Meyer of the Doyle Juniors. That is coming out of class 6, which completes that class. So for here on out, we will have 8 pigs in the ring. So number 28 is Miles Holton from the Countrysiders. That was market class 3. So in the ring next, we need Mason Zemke. And then on deck for class 3 would be Andrew Casper. Number 29, we've got Ethan Germanson from Northern Lights. That's class number 7, which means next in the ring from class number 7, we need Max Oden. And then on deck would be Jack Oden. Number 30, Brady Mickelson, Countrysiders. That's class number 2. In the ring next from class 2, Jarrett Muro. On deck, Sophie Stain. Number 31, we just had Marcus Zemke from Country Kids. That was class number 5. In the ring next from class 5 is Bryson Waring, and then that will complete that class, so no one is on deck. Number 32, Nolan Wilder, Doyle Juniors. That was from market class number 10, which means that in the ring next we need Cheyenne Matthews from market class number 10, and then on deck would be Nicholas Wells. Number 33, we have Max Oden from section 10. That's coming out of market class number 7. So in the ring next, we need Jack Oden, also from section 10. On deck, Jackie Solom, market pacemakers. So number 34, Bryson Waring, Doyle Juniors. That was coming out of class number 5, which completes that particular market class. Number 35 was Mason Zemke, coming out of class 3. In the ring next, we need Andrew Casper, and on deck, Carter Zimmerman. Number 36, Kennedy Drost, Northern Lights. That was coming out of class number 4, which means next in we need Blake Germanson. On deck would be Sawyer Wilger. .37, Cheyenne Matthews from the Marquette Pacemakers. That's coming out of class number 10. So in the ring next, we need Nicholas Wells. And then on deck, Tristan Vincent. Number 38, Andrew Casper from the Vermilion Cruisers. That was class number 3. So in the ring next, we need Carter Zimmerman, and we don't have any students on deck. .39. We've got Blake Germanson, Northern Lights. That's coming out of market class number 4. which means that in the ring next we need Sawyer Wilder. On deck, Sophia Kunish.
Right? 40, yep.
Number 40, we've got Jarrett Murrow from the Marquette Pacemakers coming out of class number 2, which means next in the ring we need Sophie Stang. Now we just named number 40. We do have 40 guaranteed spots for hogs in the sale, but depending if there are students that are also showing beef or lambs, we might have the possibility to have some extra hogs. So we're going to actually rank up to 48 today, but 40 have guaranteed spots. So 41 is Nicholas Wells. That's coming out of class number 10. So in the ring and next we would need Tristan Vincent. And then on deck, Paige Picknell. 42, Tristan Vincent, Prairie Hustlers. That was class number 10. In the ring next, we need Paige Picknell of the Country Kids. Amelia Kunish, Northern Lights, class number 1, and that completes that class. Number 44, Sawyer Wilder from the Doyle Juniors. That's class number 4. Next in for class number 4 would be Sophia Kunish, and then on deck, Trinity Matthews. Number 45, Jack Oden from section 10. That's coming out of market class number 7, which means next in we need Jackie Solom. Number 46, Brianna Wells from Vermilion Cruisers. Class number 9. That completes class 9. We're going to rank 2 more. Number 47, Sophia Kunish. That's coming out of class number 4. So in the ring next would be Trinity Matthews.
Hi, Grandpa.
Who's Ethan? Mom, who's Ethan?
Number 48, Carter Zimmerman, Class 3. Carter's with the Marquette Pacemakers. Thank you for all of our kids that came out for live rank. Thank you for all the help in the barns. We really appreciate it. It's quite the feat, so thank you so much. As we move into our next part of the program, just want to give you a heads up on what we're going to be doing next. So the next part of the program, we are going to be going into Bred and Own. And those individuals, we have Summer Stokes and Michaela Weibel, Marcus Zemke, and Mason Zemke. So Bred and Owned will be next. And then after that, we will be transitioning into showmanship. So we will start with our juniors, followed by our intermediates, and then into our senior class. So once again, next up will be Bred and Owned. So we'll have Summer and Michaela, Marcus, and Mason, and then we'll start moving into showmanship, starting with junior showmanship. One note I also want to make, if you notice on the program that maybe your name is not listed for showmanship, remember showmanship is a requirement to be eligible for sale, and so if your name is not listed and you're in that age category, please come out anyway. We will get you added onto the list.
And then we already had one get lost and taken to the fair office. So yeah, Steph's little Chloe. So I'm like, all right, I got these.
You got one that I think just turned brown.
No, that is not.
Okay.
Nope. They don't want that.
So we'll see you later. No, it climbed underneath the car. I didn't have to say how to get the switch. Anything, and then. Did you tell him? And what else? And a tree. Not letting the sunshine in. Should I start brushing? I know. It's like poking out by your water. I'll take that.
Excuse me, buddy.
Ducks and they go crazy. You know, we can slide them out. You don't want Alan on top of that.
I don't think you want Alan. You want a little bro. I'm gonna go help Kennedy.
My number over here. I don't have.
Just an announcement, we are, as soon as we have all of our bread and owned in the holding area, we're going to start and do our bread and owned next. And then after that, we're going to start with showmanship. So we're going to start with our juniors. So that's grades 3 through 5, followed by our intermediates, which is grades 6 through 8. And then we're going to go to seniors, grades 9 through 13. You might have noticed we have a lot of seniors. So right now we have 24 listed. If your name is not on that list and you are a senior, if you can come and see me right away so we can get you on that list. But we will be dividing that senior showmanship class into 2, okay? So we will be dividing it to 2. Once again, if you're a senior showman, you're not on that list, if you can come up to me right away and let me know that before we announce how we're gonna be dividing that. And once again, if there's anybody else that was not on the showmanship list that needs to be in showmanship, if you can come and see me, just so that we can plan accordingly. Thank you. Entering the ring right now will be our bread and own class. We have 4 in this particular class. We have Summer Stokes, Michaela Weibel, Marcus Zemke, and Mason Zemke. On deck, we're going to be moving on to our junior swine showmanship. So this is grades 3 through 5, just completed grades 3 through 5. And I want to share with you those names of students. So we've got Kennedy Drost, Natalie Ellison, Blake Germanson, Miles Holton, Riley Majewski, Elliot Meyer, Jarrett Moreau, Jack Oden, Molly Peterson, back to junior swine showmanship here. Jack Oden, Molly Peterson, Paige Picknell, Nolan Wilger, Olivia Wilger, Sawyer Wilger, Austin Zimmerman, and Hunter Zimmerman. So that is junior showmanship, and that will be on deck.
What? There's a camera. You're not tall enough. There's a camera and 5. But you're not tall.
Well, as we get out here in our bred and owned division, I think it's really good, and these exhibitors are obviously taking time at home and putting in the time with the project a year round, not just buying pigs to come to the fair, and I think that's real good and commendable for all four of these exhibitors, as they definitely know what it takes and put in the time back home. But for me, I think obviously it's pretty self-explanatory who I'm going to go ahead and win this one with. I mean, the gilt wins an overall show. The young lady right in front of me will be your champion bred and owned. And with that being said, I think there was one that also hit me real hard when she came out in class, and definitely she placed high in the live rank. The young lady here will be reserved. Congratulations.
I don't want to be broadcast.
Champion, bred, and owned went to Michaela Weibel of the Barron FFA. Next, we had Summer Stokes of the Barron FFA. And then we had Marcus Zemke and Mason Zemke with red ribbons. Congratulations. Next up, once again, we are going to be moving into our junior swine showmanship. This is going to be grades 3 through 5. Again, the people that we're going to be seeing out there in the ring today will be Kennedy Drost, Natalie Ellefson, Blake Germanson, Miles Holton, Riley Majewski, Elliot Meyer, Jarrett Moreau, Jack Oden, Molly Peterson, Paige Bicknell, Nolan Wilger, Olivia Wilger, Sawyer Wilder, Austin Zimmerman, and Hunter Zimmerman.
So we're going to do showmanship a little different. We're going to pen up the top side of the class, and we're going to have to dismiss for the ribbon wise in groups. So I'm going to go ahead and just say the pinks to start off with, and we're going to go ahead and was there 4 pinks, correct? Perfect. All right, we're going to go ahead. The young lady here with the red pig will get a pink. The young lady in the blue plaid also will get a pink. We just need to kind of work on some overall head placement and just keeping them driving the whole time. It will definitely work us up in showmanship on that side of things. The young man here with the white pig here along the fence will be a pink ribbon as well. Just knowing where your pig is at all times will definitely help you out on that side of things. Yep, they can go out. If they got a ribbon, they can exit the ring, please. And then the young man here in the red plaid can get the last pink ribbon. Yes, ma'am. And so working towards our white, these are some more exhibitors that probably just have a little bit better whip control and overall ring awareness than where I am, and just keeping their pig driving. And with that being said, the young man in the yellow plaid will get a white. Right here. Yep. The young man here in the blues pig's just kind of giving up on him, and obviously, it's been a long day for that one, and I've definitely been out driving quite a bit, but we just would need a little bit more stamina put out of that one. Our next white will go to the young lady down on the far side of the ring. Just kind of knowing where I'm at and keeping it a good distance will definitely help you in the future with that. And then we got what, one more? One more? Next we'll go with the young man here in the blue shirt on the right side of me. So as we move into our reds, these are just showmen that have a little bit more overall control. I know where I am, ring presence, keeping their head and neck up out of their pigs, keeping them driving, keeping them moving. The young man in the orange will be next. The young man here on my right will be next. Both these young ladies are doing an awfully good job. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady with the white pig over the young lady with the belted pig. I think just our space between me and her, and know where she's at in the ring, and just the overall ring presence and confidence comes along very nicely for that young lady. So let's give all the kids we've dismissed a nice round of applause. With that being said, we can get the 4 that we got penned up, fired up, and drive for your champion junior showman. As we get our 4 out here, I think these 4 are doing an awfully good job, especially for how old they are. All 4 of them are doing an awful good job in just overall ring presence. keeping their pigs moving, knowing where I am, and just doing the basics. And I think that's a huge part for them to grow and develop as showmen, and definitely grow and develop their project as they get older, because definitely the face of agriculture is in our youth, and these four are doing an awful heck of a good job. I'll go through 1 through 4. I'm going to go ahead and use a young lady right here in front of me to win this showmanship class. She's doing an awfully good job. She keeps that pig moving the entire time. That one's head and neck that was always up. She knew where I was. Her spacing was very adequate in between the pig and me, and where she was relative to that. So she's doing an awfully good job. Let's give her a nice round of applause. With that being said, I think it comes down to 2 for me in very close symmetry, and it's the 2 young ladies. They're doing a heck of a good job. I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady here in the green in front of me. I think just her overall ring awareness, and definitely she's keeping that one's head and neck up and keeping that one moving. You know, maybe she's getting a little tired on her just because, you know, it's been a long day and she's been out in the ring quite a bit, but let's go ahead and give her a nice round of applause. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and use the young lady here in front of me as third. I just think that this one, she does an awful good job in just her whip control. She's not real aggressive on the whip. She stays calm and collected, but she's still, you know, very plenty serious and definitely does a good job. So that's why she falls third for me here today. Congratulations. And with that, the young man kind of falls into 4th. He's done a real good job all day. I think his overall ring presence and just keeping that one moving as hard as he is, you know, that's a big pig for him, and I definitely think he's done a good job. His overall, just how he kind of controls his whip, he's not real aggressive, but he still gets the job done, and that's why he finds him 4th. Let's give all of them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations in junior swine showmanship. The champion showman is Molly Peterson of the Vermilion Cruisers 4-H. Reserve champion showman Elliot Meyer, Doyle Juniors. Our next blue went to Riley Majewski of the Vermilion Cruisers. And our final blue, Nolan Wilger, Doyle Juniors. Congratulations to all those young showmen. We're going to be moving into intermediate showmanship next. That would be grades 6 through 8. There were also some questions as far as how we will be splitting swine showmanship. We will be splitting it in half by alphabetical order, so I'll be announcing that in a bit. So our first class will be those first 12, second class, the final 12. So in swine showmanship intermediate, entering the ring, we'll have Nolan Ewings, Caleb Germanson, Cadence Holton, Andrew Casper, Amelia Kunish, Sophia Kunish, Cheyenne Matthews, Troy McDonough, Isaac Mickelson, Max Odin, Callie Stokes, Bryson Waring, Brianna Wells, Nicholas Wells, Marcus Zemke, and Carter Zimmerman. So for swine showmanship, we're going to break it into 2 groups. There's 24 total. We're going to have 2 groups of 12 alphabetical. So in the first group of senior showmen, we're going to have Brooke Colburn, Bryce Colburn, Aiden Drost, Ethan Germanson, Ashlyn Harmon, Lillian Harmon, Sean Holton, Ben Casper, Nick Casper, Fisher Kunish, Wyatt Kunish, and Trinity Matthews. Our second group of swine showmen are going to be James Meyer, Brady Mickelson, Jackie Solom, Dane Stowborough, Summer Stokes, Callie Stovern, Michaela Stovern, Michaela Weibel, Kyler Waring, Adam Worth, Emily Zemke, and Mason Zemke.
Hey, good job, bud. Yeah, I hate shooting. That's like, it's done. Blake, all we gotta do now is just clean the barn when it's done.
I got my top 4 pulled back in this division, and we'll just start with the pinks again if that works for everybody. We got 4 of them, correct? Perfect. We're going to go ahead and just kind of start pulling maybe the exhibitors that just couldn't quite get them off the gate or couldn't quite get them drove. You know, and like I said, it's been a long day, and the thing is we need to be working these at home and have built up that stamina. The young man in the coral color there can get a pink. His just kind of gave up on him. That barrel's getting tired. Nothing taken away from that young man. I know he does a good job. I saw him during the day. Just that one kind of gave up on him and just getting real tired. Next, we'll go ahead with the young man in the brown plaid there. Same thing, just kind of one getting tired on him. He's doing a super good job though. Then we got 2 more. We'll go ahead and we'll give one to the young man here in the green plaid. Just one that we kind of need to control that one's speed, getting a little too fast on us, and just kind of bring that one back into a comfortable space. And then with that being said, the young lady right here in the black and the red, she'll get a pink as well. Let's go give all these exhibitors a congratulations. As we move into our whites, I think it definitely gets a little bit more competitive because these exhibitors are doing a heck of a job. But I do think that there is one that for me that kind of just falls in the spot. The young man over here just can't pigs getting tired on him, and it's just going to be a longer day if he would ride the rail anymore.
You know, it's always, you know, just head today. You see
And with that being said, the young man in the red plaid over there is doing a good job. We just need to kind of get that one's head up and get moving a little bit better and just show a little bit more intensity to move up any higher. Next we'll go here with the young man to my right in the blue. I just think this one's just getting tired on him, and that's the big thing with showmanship, and especially when we do it after the show, keeping stamina, you know, and staying cool, calm, and collected with them if they're not wanting to work with you, and just keeping them driving. Next we'll go ahead and we use the young man's black pig along the gate over here. Just that one's not moving as good as we want to. Definitely quite a few more stops and starts than I'd like to see. We just need to get that one moving fresher and more smoother when we set that one in motion, and just have a little bit more ring presence for him to move up any higher. As we move into our reds, we definitely have good. And we got 5 here in this red ribbon division. I think the young man on the far side, he's doing a heck of a job. I just think that one's kind of giving up on him. And definitely, he's doing a great job. He's keeping that one moving as best as he can. And as well, the young lady that's right in front of him, I think, is also doing a heck of a job. That one just wants to find the gate and head back to the pen and get laid down. So she'll be next. The young lady in the blue long sleeve, yep. With that, the young man here with the Duroc pig, just need to be on the center of the ring a little bit more, keeping that one moving and keeping that one's head up. Would go a heck of a long way for that one. So he's going to come next for me. The young lady here that's got the almost all white gill, she's going to come next. You know, she's doing a good job. She's keeping out in the middle. I just think there's one that's doing a better job here with the belted pig, just kind of keeping that one moving, keeping it in the center of the ring, always knowing where I'm at, and just doing a real good job. Let's give all the exhibitors we dismissed a heck of a round of applause, please. And we can drop out these next 4 showmen for champion.
Mom.
As we get our four Blues back here for this division, I think that they're all doing a heck of a job. I just do think that there is one that kind of sorted herself to the top. She came out of the gate this morning, and I knew she was going to be in the hunt today for showmanship because her overall ring presence, her just body posture, the way she keeps that one's head up and moving, and just her ring awareness, you know, depending on where I'm at, she's always doing a really good job of keeping it in the middle of the ring, keeping an eye on me, keeping in that pig in the relative area that I'm always able to get a good view of them. The young lady in the blue long sleeve will be your champion showman. And with that being said, I think that there's one that just kind of follows her the best. This young man here is going to follow next with the all-white pig. I think he's doing a really good job. His ring intensity is good. And like right now, he might be getting this pig might be getting a little tired and want to go see some of his friends in the holding pen. But earlier when he came out in the showmanship class, he had that one driving. He kind of found a corner of the ring. You know, he gave me a good profile.